Have you ever wondered what the world was really like in the days of Noah? We picture an ark, animals 2 by 2, a man mocked for building a boat on dry land. But what if the days of Noah weren't just about rain and floods? What if they were about something far deeper? Something so shocking that Jesus himself said the last days of history would look just like them. And what if those days aren't coming, but already here? Let's start with the words of Jesus. In Matthew chapter 24, verses 37 through 39, he said, "As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day Noah entered the ark. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away." Pause for a moment. Jesus didn't just pull Noah out of history to make an interesting point. He told you plainly, if you want to know what the world will look like when he returns, study the days of Noah. So what were those days like? Genesis chapter 6 paints a chilling picture. It says the earth was corrupt in God's sight and filled with violence. Every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. That's not just a few bad apples. That's humanity as a whole spiraling into darkness. The boundaries of morality collapsed. Violence became normal. Evil wasn't just tolerated, it was celebrated. Now ask yourself, does that sound familiar? Look around. Do you not see corruption spreading through governments, businesses, even communities that once held strong values? Do you not feel the weight of violence, whether in wars, cities torn apart, or even in the quiet violence of hatred, anger, and division that fills people's hearts? When you scroll through the news, do you not see things that make you wonder, how did we get here? This is your first clue that maybe, just maybe, we are living in days that mirror Noah's. But it goes deeper. In Noah's day, people lived as if nothing was wrong. They ate, they drank, they married, they carried on with their lives as though judgment wasn't coming. Noah preached. He warned. For years, he built the ark in plain sight, a living sermon of what was about to happen. But the people laughed. They ignored him. They said, "It's never rained like that before. Why should we believe you now? Doesn't the same spirit fill our world today?" When someone speaks about God's coming judgment, people scoff. They mock. They say, "Life will keep going as it always has. Why take this seriously?" Even as signs intensify, earthquakes, wars, moral collapse, people are lulled into thinking everything will continue as normal. Here's where you need to pay attention. The Bible doesn't just describe external events in Noah's day, it describes the condition of the human heart. Genesis chapter 6, verse 5 says, "The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time." That's the part that should stop you. Every inclination, only evil, all the time. Humanity had reached a point where its imagination, creativity, and desires were bent entirely toward sin. And when God looked at that, his heart was grieved. So let me ask you, when you look at culture today, what do you see? Entertainment saturated with immorality, technology used for exploitation instead of good, violence portrayed as normal, selfishness elevated as success. Do you see the parallels? Because if you open your eyes, it's hard not to. But there's another dimension to the days of Noah you might not have considered. Genesis chapter 6 also speaks of something strange: the sons of God, who took the daughters of humans as wives, leading to a world filled with corruption and confusion. While scholars debate exactly what this passage means, one thing is clear: boundaries that God had set for humanity were being broken in shocking ways. Now think about today. Boundaries of identity, family, gender, and morality, boundaries once seen as unshakable, are being crossed at a staggering pace. What was unthinkable just a generation ago is now celebrated. What God designed as sacred is being redefined by human opinion. Could it be that this too is a sign of the days of Noah, repeating themselves before your eyes? Here's another sobering truth. In Noah's day, judgment came suddenly. The people were warned, but they didn't listen. And when the flood came, it was too late. The door to the ark was shut, not by Noah, but by God himself. Imagine pounding on the door as the waters rose, crying out for mercy, only to realize the time for mercy had passed. Jesus warned that his return would be the same: sudden, unexpected, shocking. People will be living their lives as though nothing is wrong, ignoring every warning, until the moment the heavens open and there is no more time. But here's the part you cannot miss. While the days of Noah were filled with corruption, violence, and rebellion, there was one man who found favor in the eyes of the Lord, Noah. He wasn't perfect, but he walked with God. And because he trusted God, he and his family were saved. That ark Noah built wasn't just a boat. It was a symbol, a foreshadowing. The ark was the only place of safety when judgment came. And today, there is still only one place of safety: Jesus Christ. He is the greater ark. Step into him, and you are secure. Outside of him, the flood of judgment is certain. So are we living in the days of Noah again? Look around. The signs are everywhere. Humanity's heart is bent on evil. Violence fills the earth. Boundaries are being broken. People live as if nothing is wrong, and warnings are ignored. But there's also hope. Just as Noah found favor, you too can find grace in the eyes of God. You don't have to be swept away by the flood of judgment. The door to the ark is still open, but it will not stay open forever. The question is, are you in it? Because the days of Noah aren't just history, they're prophecy. And the choice you make now will determine where you stand when the storm comes.